Hello folks, welcome to the Wednesday forecast. Let's get started with the euro and the US dollar. So we did have some moves, but I did not take much trades, so I only took one trade, which I will go over later. But let's now see what the euro and the US dollar has been doing. So what I can see right here is that we had this ascending, then we pushed up, got a pullback and continued to the upside. After this impulse there was an opportunity to enter on a flag, so right about here this would be the flag, and for me personally this one did not fit my plan. There are actually two reasons. So the first reason is we have a huge wick right here, so when I see a huge wick I want to see a wider range, and what actually happened, we did start ranging, but it was not really enough of a range in the first place, and then there were also wicks below and above. So we have huge wicks here, we have a absolutely huge wick right here, and then we have also wicks right here. So first reason is lots of wicks. When I see a wicky flag like this, I usually tend to stay out because they usually tend to just reverse to the downside. Second reason was the entry candle was too close to the high. As you can see, this one would be the entry candle, this would be the entry level, and it's very close to the high. So when I see that sort of a pattern where the entry candle is close to the high, I also stay out because they usually don't tend to work out that good. So it is actually good that I stayed out of this one because it would have taken me out for a loss. A small loss because I would have reduced my risk, but loss nevertheless. So then the price continued down, pulled back, continued down, got a huge wick and pulled back. So currently what I'm seeing is that the market has started to trend to a downside, but I see weakness. So I see a huge wick and then this momentum shift. Personally, I believe this will just create a descending structure, and then I will look for a reversal to the upside and then a nice clean flag. If it does give us a nice impulse down, I will look for a continuation pattern, so a flag or a break and a retest. If we start to ascend, then I do expect a larger range, because then this would be a descending going into an ascending, so usually we get a larger range. If we do get this V, something like this, I will look for a range and then a nice push up and then a nice flag to go long. So currently, yeah, we had this ascending, then we reversed, and this is slowly trending down. So let's see if we will get more of a push, and then I will look for a nice trade. But currently, this is not looking spectacular. It's not looking that interesting. So let's wait and let's see what will happen. For the euro and the Japanese yen, there were a couple of entries. So right here, what I was seeing, also ascending, push up, small pullback, push up, no momentum shift in this pullback. So at this point, this was looking very good, but the next candle is what gave me a huge warning sign. So we got this aggressive retrace, a sort of a momentum shift, and I know on the Japanese pairs, when I see this sort of an aggressive retrace and a momentum shift, it usually tends to signal so either a larger range or a reversal to the downside. So I don't tend to take any trades, and then I waited. Maybe if it was a really clean setup after this candle, I would consider it, but it would really need to be clean and perfect price action. So there was actually an opportunity for a flag, so we did get this also momentum shift, continuation of the momentum to the downside, not really showing me signs it wants to slow down. This would be the entry candle for the flag, but as I said, what concerned me is we had a momentum shift, then we ascended up showing weakness to the upside, and then we had another push down, another momentum shift. So for me personally, no trade. and then we did actually also get an opportunity to get in on a break and retest. So the break and retest would be break of this level and then retest to the break, which would be right here. My entry candle would actually be this inside bar, because that's how I trade. So the top of the inside bar would be the entry level, and it did go to the entry level. And I also stayed out because I saw a momentum shift here, I saw a momentum shift here, and it would have taken me out for a loss. So it's actually good that I followed my plan and did not take any trades on the euro and the Japanese yen. What I would advise, be very careful with this pair, because if you suspect any signs of a momentum shift, I would say sit on your hands, don't take a trade. It's better to avoid the loss than to take many of these average setups where the momentum has clearly reversed. So I would say be very careful, take less trades, and watch out for these momentum shifts on the Japanese pairs. So yeah, currently I'm waiting if we get a push up. I want to see a nice large push. I will then look for a flag, or if we get more of a descending, I will then look for a descending. I will then look for a reversal to the upside, something like this. Or if we start to ascend, I will look for a reversal down and then a nice flag. If we get a large impulse down, I will also look for a flag. And that is about it. What I can forecast is that we will continue to range, so be careful about those liquidity areas below and above. So when we see a range, there are liquidity areas which we then need to be aware of and careful, because the price usually tends to just break and reverse in these areas of interest. So that is it for EJ. Let's look at the Aussie pairs. Aussie US dollar, there was one opportunity to enter, which did look very, very interesting. Right here, I was seeing a nice trend start. You can definitely see it. We have a really, really nice trend. No momentum shift in the pullbacks. Then we got this candle, got a clean close. At this point, I had a pending long order on, but then we got this wick. I removed the order because after I see a wick like this, it is no longer a clear pattern and I need to sit on my hands and wait for what will happen. And then we got more wicks, so we got 3 smaller wicks to the upside, which is definitely not a good sign. It's showing weakness to the upside. And at this point I wanted to see more of a range to maybe consider taking a trade, but the price actually just reversed to the downside, which definitely does not fit my plan. And then price just started to range around. So you can see that we're stuck in this clear range right here, clear flat range. And that doesn't really have to be a bad sign. That can just be a sign that the buyers and the sellers are accumulating and that we will get a nice move up or a nice move down. What we need to be careful of is the liquidity area below and the liquidity area above. We need to see what happens in this area. Do we just ascend and then reverse? Maybe. Then look for this sort of a setup. So maybe we descend and reverse up. That is a very, very high probability setup. Or do we push up and retrace? Or do we push up and get some really nice momentum and then get a nice trade to go long? Or same thing to the downside, do we push down and get a nice trade to go short? So this push really needs to be big. It really needs to show me conviction that we have broken out of this liquidity zone and that we are ready to trend down. So that is it for AU. And now let's take a look at the final pairs. So we have AJ, and I was in a trade right here. Right here, this was a losing trade, unfortunately, but it did fit my plan. So let me go over it. At this point, I was seeing the same thing as on the Aussie US dollar. I was seeing a nice trend up, as you can see here. Nice trend up. no momentum shift in the pullbacks, no momentum shift, no momentum shift. So I was definitely looking for a nice long trade. At this point, this wick did concern me, so I wanted to be a bit more patient. Then we did get this opportunity for a combo trade, which is just a flag combined with a break and retest methodology. So a pullback, pause, and then another pullback down. But I did not get tagged in. Instead, price continued up. And at this point, we got a clean close. So I was very happy to place a pending long order at this inside bar because of the clean close, because we are trending up, and because the Aussie Japanese yen likes to trend correctively. And another reason, no momentum shift in the pullbacks again. So right here you can see we're just pausing, which is a very, very good sign. And then price tagged me in and tagged me out with the same candle for a 1% loss. But that's what it is, that can happen. So after that, price reversed down. We got a huge wick. At this point, I wanted to see a range or a continuation down. So I did stay out of taking any sort of a reversal because of the huge wick and because of this sort of an aggressive retrace. And then we broke the low retrace, broke the high retrace. So we are now stuck in a range. So this is a range bound, very similar to the Aussie US dollar. So yeah, very similar to the Aussie US dollar. And I'm looking for an ascending and then a reversal, or a descending and then a nice reversal up. Or I would like to see a large push up, nice flag, or a large push down and then also a nice flag to go short. Nothing really more to say. We have to break out of this range. Of course, there are liquidity areas below and above, like on the Aussie and the US dollar. So be careful what happens in these areas. So yeah, had a 1% loss. Markets are starting to shape up. It looks much better than it looked a week or two ago. So definitely something to keep in mind and to be more alert for taking setups. Also, Wednesdays, Thursdays and Fridays is usually when we get some nice moves. So be alert, stay patient and follow your plan. I will see you guys tomorrow.